I in this video I'm going to demonstrate the microwave program for task 1.1p. So the parts of this program, the main parts of this program are three main parts. The first part we're going to spend more time on, and as you will see that the much of the code is to get valid input. So we make sure we spend more time on getting the valid input, make sure that the user is not typing the wrong input that we don't want, and making sure that the message that we display to the user gives clear instructions on what kind of input we want. And if they input a wrong kind of input, the message should show them to correct their input. Number two main part is calculating the heating time, and we use the if else statement to determine how much extra time is needed. And the requirement is that if the item to be hit in the microwave is 1, it will display the time that is inputted for time for one item in the microwave. If it is 2, it's gonna add 50%, so it should add 1.5. And if it is three items, it will double the heating time. And the third main part of this program is to display the final results or the output of the program. So with that, without wasting much time, I've I'm gonna run this debug, and I'll put the breakpoints here to basically where the variables are, and we want to see how the variables change depending on the input that we put in. And like I said, very big part of this program is trying to make sure that the um, quality of the input uh, is accounted for, making sure that the user is inputting valid input, and a do while loop. The condition here is true when the user continues to input invalid input or invalid uh, numbers or characters or different things. So I'm gonna run the debug, start debugging. Now there's a console that I can see, and I want to put some attention here first. The variables that we declared up here is the integer type, and the initial value is 0. This is double type heating time, and the initial value is 0. Double is because we want to display decimal numbers, 1.1, 1.2, numbers like that. And this condition here, not valid input. This is a Boolean variable. It will accept only true or false, those two conditions. So the main part here is the do while loop, but we are implementing try catch as well to catch any invalid input that the user put in. So try catch will also run here to make sure that if it catches, the catch is if it catches format exception, something like exclamation mark or the characters or um, letters of the alphabet that it cannot convert to integer up somewhere. Yeah, if it's gonna convert to double or it's gonna convert to integer. If the input cannot be converted, that means format exception, that is the wrong format. it will display here, invalid input, please enter numbers only. So we want to make sure the message that we print out, that we show to the user, is clear on what we want. Here as well, if the user inputs a very large number, it will say number is too large, because the instruction should be clear. The instruction should be clear. Like here we're saying the number of seconds should be between 1 and 10, and the number of items should be between 1 and 3. We don't want anything apart from that. So those two conditions must be met. So the console right now is asking me for a number of items that I want to put in the microwave. So firstly, I probably want to enter some invalid number, very large number, and press enter, and let's see the conditions. Now, let me step over. Um, I'll go here, and then when I check um, the console, it's asking me for and it's saying enter time for one item. So time for one item, let me be uh, correct here. I'll input something that is between 1 and 10. I'll enter 3 and press enter. And then we step over. We step over and check this condition. The number that we just entered for number of items is 1000. Wow. So doesn't meet this condition or that condition, and is not less than 1. Oh, and it is greater than 3. It meets this condition. So it's going to display the number of items must be between 1 and 3. So if I step over, I'll step over, and this variable still assigns false, like we did in the opening lines. Let me put it here, and let me check the console. So if if this condition is met, it is gonna display this message. So let me see the console. Yes, it is showing the number of items must be between 1 and 3. And then there's another condition that it meets. It's gonna come. This condition is met. This condition is not met, and all those conditions are not met. So it is gonna come here. If this is this is currently false, let me go all the way to there. Those we don't have overflow exception or format exception. We don't have those. So it's gonna come here. Now, this condition is true. The next condition is true. This condition is true. The not valid is true. So it should ask the user to press enter and try again. So it's gonna clear the console. It's gonna print a line. Or it's gonna accept read line, and then it is gonna clear the console. It is gonna clear the console, and it should go back up because this statement is true. The not valid statement, this condition is still true. It should not go down this far after this while statement here. It should go back up. But the debugging uh, environment here doesn't doesn't go back. It doesn't follow the. We have to find a way. Now I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna press enter. Now when I press enter, those values are still uh, like they were, and it is not gonna it is going back up. Thanks goodness. Okay, it went back up because that condition was met. We pressed enter. Now let me just go back down again. We pressed enter. It's gonna capture this. When we press enter, it's gonna capture that, and it's gonna clear the console, and it's gonna loop back up because this condition is still true, so it went up. It went up. So we're gonna uh, go again. It's gonna ask us to enter numbers 1 2 3. We just go here, and the console should show. Yep, this time I'm gonna enter valid input. I'll enter 3, and we should be able to see the values here change. This is still 1000, but when I go step over, it is now 3 because I've entered 3, and the number here is still 3 like I entered before, but I'm gonna enter 4 this time to make it a bit different. So I'll go, when I go here, it should display the message to enter the number of seconds between 1 and 10. So yes, the console is showing, it is asking me to enter numbers between 1, a number between 1 or and 10, 1 and 10. So I'll enter 4 just for to show difference. When I enter 4 and press enter, I will go step over. Now the heating time is 4. The number of items is 3. The requirement says if the number of items to put in the microwave is 1, it will display the number of item is 1, and the heating time is the time that we input. If we enter 4, it will display 4. But if it is 2, if the number of items is 2, it's gonna add 50%. So it is gonna add 1.5. If it is 3, it's gonna double it. So if it is 3, the number of items is 3, this value, the heating time should be 8. It is gonna times by 2, and it should be 8. So this condition, number of items is less than 1 or number of items is greater than 3 is not valid. The next condition is heating time is less than 1 or heating time is greater than 10. That statement is not true for now. Sorry. And then it if those statements up conditions up here are not true, it does this thing. This input is true because we entered all the valid inputs. That is true. It is not gonna execute the catch statement here. It is not gonna execute this because this is now true. It is not gonna, this is become now false. This is become false too. This is become false. It is not gonna execute this. It's only execute it, pardon me. It only executes this line here if this is true. But this is false. It's the variable itself contrast itself because there's not valid. That means when it's false, this should be executed. When it is true, this should be um, this should be false, so it is opposite of itself. So the condition here is true. Currently, the condition is true. Let's go and check. Let's go down. Let's go down. All these conditions are not met. The condition now is false. The value here is false, so it's not going to execute this. That means it's not going to continue the loop because we entered all the required inputs. So that is false. And now we want to see if the heating time is going to change to 8. Let's see. It now checks the condition here. There's a if statement again. If the number of items equals 1, it compares the variable against this value. It is false. It's not gonna execute this. The next condition down there, we go there. Is this true? It's asking if this condition is true. It's not true. It's false because we entered 3. We'll go to the next else. So if it is not true, if it was true, it would have added one multiplied by 1.5. So it's basically adding 50% on top. So it's gonna execute this because now because we've entered 3 and this heating time is within the accepted values. Uh, it's gonna calculate this and we're gonna see the value of that total time here. We're gonna come to this line and see. So we go all the way to this line. It should show on the console. It is showing 8 seconds. The number of items is 3 and the heating time is 8 seconds. So it is working. It is working. So I will wrap up here to keep the video as uh, within acceptable time and not too much talking. But basically, we've covered everything. So the main part that I covered was to make sure that we're getting the valid input, and we use do while loop and try catch if statements to make sure that the user is inputting the correct values and making sure that the right line statement or right statement displays to the user clear instructions on what kind of input we want. The next main part, like I said, is calculating the heating time, making sure that the correct heating time is calculated for items numbering 1, 2, or 3. And the third main part I covered was displaying the final output using the right line console. So that is basically it. And thank you very much for watching my video.